Welcome everybody in the YouTube land. Today I'm working in the office reviving a clogged Epson P600 that we bought for $125. As you know, this is like a $1,000 printer. Just to let you know that I take these printers right there, the same one you're looking at right here, the Epson P600, and I convert them and build them into a direct-to-garment printer. So this is very vital to me that I get this printer working. As you know, you guys saw me a few days ago tear the entire printer apart. And so now what I'm doing is a couple of power cleanings. As I've reintroduced the ink, I've brought it back from the dead pretty much. Earlier it had 0 nozzles that were firing, and right now I think I have growing. We've got our yellow back, we've got our cyan back, we've got our photo black back, and now we're just working on our magentas, our cyans, and our light black and dark black. So it's going to take a few cleanings for us to get there. As you can see already, we are getting correct marks coming out on the magenta. And so what we're going to do is just keep looking, and anytime that you buy one of these printers, just so you know, you're going to be using, if you buy a printer that is, as in this case, I just have to remember which one is the full one. Anytime that you're getting a printer that has been dead, and I had to waterfall the print head, as you guys saw, then you already know the amount of ink it's going to take to reintroduce all the lines. And that's the problem that I'm in now. These are brand new ink cartridges, and you can already see that there's not really much that we can do except put in the correct cartridges and, you know, hope that we start getting correct firing nozzle checks, in which we should, because I waterfalled the print head, and now it's just a matter, you know, of trying to get these things to snap into place. But it's like this one does not want to snap in because I forgot to take off the starter band. All right, so now that we've got that installed, we're just going to go ahead and try to see if we can't use the same sheets of paper, because I hate to waste paper. You know, paper does cost a little bit of money. And so what I want to do now that I've ran some super cleanings, I'm using the Epson adjustment. You guys can get the Epson adjustment online. We just did a super cleaning, so now I'm going to want to go back and just try to do a middle cleaning. And these cartridges now I got on eBay for about, I don't know, 100 bucks, or sorry, 60 bucks. So sometimes you can get the cartridges for very inexpensive, because what people like me will do is we will take the printer and rebuild a DTG printer out of it, and then we will you know, have another printer that we can use to fire up and get going. So again, this printer I bought for $125. I had to waterfall the print head, flush the lines. It took me a lot of work because there was dried ink in the lines. I had to completely clean the capping station, take it all apart. You guys can go back to the last video that I was doing where I showed you how to do this live. And then, you know, once you get this going, well, you know, your ink cartridges, because people like me will take the ink cartridges, and I have several of these laying around when I build a printer. So, you know, we can get this printer running for basically I don't know, 60 bucks or so. And then if I wanted to sell the printer, because I have the next Epson P600 here, my wife has the Epson P600. And then over there, I've got the bigger 24-inch Epson that you can see right over there. This is called the House of Printers. So I bet you've never seen another printer on YouTube that has a house. Their living room is just full of printers. So when you talk about how dedicated somebody is to the print world, I don't know if I've ever seen another printer that is more dedicated than I am to this business. And of course there are some out there, but you know, I'm not saying one way or another that I'm the leading one, but I have checked, you know, and I asked, the only other one is Jose Rodriguez, who does a lot of printing, but he's only a 17-inch printer, which he has the Epson P600 over here, but I've never seen him tear it apart. I don't know how much he knows. I love to watch him though. But over here, this was a printer that I picked up right here, that one right there, which it's an Epson 7880, and that printer I got, or my wife bought for about 500 bucks, had a few issues, so I had to go, you know, clean the print head out, waterfall the print head, which was a nightmare. And then after I waterfalled the print head, I wasted, I don't know, maybe 3 rounds. I don't know, maybe I wasted 5 to 10 milliliters of ink before it started working properly again. So who knows how many we're going to go. I should have started this a little bit earlier, and I didn't. So I should have started that video and I didn't. I'm sorry, I've had a lot going on today. And you guys want to see the shirts that I made today that are going out? Let's show you the shirts. So this is one that I did. You guys will probably like this. This is one that I did for a customer up in Michigan. And of course, it doesn't do it justice without the light, you know, on it. But what a pretty shirt. I hand drew that into my iPad. Wow, man, I just heard somebody messaged me, a good friend of mine, a customer, and he's the head lacrosse coach for a local high school. I'm a PTO father. This is another one that I did. And it says, you know, just the two of meow. Like that. That's a very cool shirt. It's for a young girl. And hopefully we can get these out in the mail tomorrow. Let's go ahead and do a print head nozzle check and see where we're at on this. Anytime somebody lets an Epson printer go dead and let the ink dry out, it costs a lot of money to get the ink back in operation again. So never let your printer get air into it. Always print every 3 or 4 days. You can go to my website, liveeventprinting.com, and you can download this right here. And all you have to do is print it every 3 days. And if you print this every 3 days, you will in fact keep the head cleaning away, which is very needed. So I'm just going to hang out and keep doing this and show you all what you need to do to revive a printer again. And here we've got the head cleaning is finished. And we're just going to wait for this to print out, and maybe we're charging up the lines. And you guys will see what it'll take. I showed you part 1 of how to waterfall your print head. And it's pretty much the same operation for all printers. You just want to make sure that you keep that printer printing. If you've got an inkjet printer, or like my EcoSolvent printing, every few days I'm in there printing. Even if I don't have jobs, you know, I'm constantly printing. And that's like the DTG. I'm constantly printing, constantly firing up that printer, making sure that all my channels are working at all times. I don't like to let my printer sit idle. An idle printer is going to cost you thousands over time. So never let your printer, your inkjet printer, go idle. The moment that printer starts going idle, man, you're going to be in a nightmare. And especially if you don't have ink harvested. So, you know, I harvest a lot of ink because when I build these printers right here and I turn them into a direct-to-garment printer, every time I get one of those printers right there to convert, I will keep the ink and harvest that ink. So, you know, hopefully I should say, you know, we can get out of this problem. And then I don't know if I want to rebuild another DTG printer or if I want to, you know, use it. I love to print, even if I have one print or something like that, you know, I'm going to keep continuing to print. And right now it's just charging ink through that thing. And that's what you've got to do when you reintroduce ink. You bring it back from the dead. Let's see how I can turn the comments on this if I can. I should be able to turn comments on. We want all messages are visible. There we go. So I think you guys can chat if you want to say something. Hello to the 4 or 6 of you who are watching. Thank you for watching. This is all about printing, you know, all about printing. And once you do get to going to print, you know, head on over to my website, liveeventprinting.com. And, you know, hopefully if I can print something for you, please let me know. I print all the way up to 36 inches wide. I print on metal. I frame acrylic. All kinds of stuff. You've got a question or a need in the print world, I can print it. So we're just waiting to see what's happening over here. Let it finish doing its cleaning and adjusting, and then, you know, hopefully we can get the rest of my channels firing, because right now I think I have all but 4 channels firing. Let me take a look here. We have our yellow firing, very light magenta, light cyan. Magenta's out, but cyan's working. Our dark blacks or light blacks are not working. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to get this to wake up and give me that perfect print nozzle check. While that's over here, I'm going to go ahead and move this over here and throw off another cleaning that I need to do. So earlier today I was printing on my direct-to-garment printer when I ended up losing my magenta channel. So let's get this back in there. Hopefully we get a little bit better of a nozzle check, but you know, that's what you have to do. And so I picked this printer up in China, Maine for 125 bucks, and it's a $1,000 printer. There you go, boom. You guys see it live. I just restored the printer. We're fully up and running again. I've got one little spot in my in my magenta. And so what I'm going to do is run just a light cleaning so that I can go ahead and fix that problem. So happy. That means a $125 printer is now back to $1,000 in worth. And that shows you the determination that I have as a printer, and the determination and the knowledge of how to revive a printer. Listen, just like I told you a few days ago, right? One man's trouble is another man's solution. So when I look for printers all across the country, and if I can, you know, drive close enough to go see the printer and I think that there's a valuable chance that I can restore the printer, then I'll go ahead and do that and purchase it. And as you see here, now my printer is working perfectly. So I don't know what I want to do with this. Maybe I want to sell it. Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to keep it just because if I ever get so busy that, you know, I need another printer, then there we go. So this one's constantly running the P800 over there. The 7880 is running all the time over there. So for $125, man, I've got a portable printer that can go to a trade show with me, and I can just fire off prints right and left, you know, while I'm at that. Although it's 13 inches wide, I have the roll adapter, but I don't use the roll adapter because if I need a roll adapter or I need to print a large print over there, I'll just use that one over there. So I don't know, you know, ever since I got the larger printer, you know, I've harvested so much ink that it's just so easy, because when I buy these printers, I drain all the ink from the ink cartridges and I use the ink again. And so what happens is that if I run out of ink out of the OEM cartridges, as you see right here, these are the OEM cartridges. Well, I also have rechargeable cartridges in here. I think I have 2 sets of these rechargeable cartridges right here. And so what I'll do is I'll take all the harvested ink that I have and I'll throw it into the printer, or I'll throw it into the new printer and the cartridges. So there you go. And of course, thankfully, because I have enough matte black, the thing that I thought about doing was just keeping this printer alive for the matte black print so that I never have to switch over. And if somebody wants a matte black print, then I can just go ahead and, you know, keep this printer here for my matte blacks, and then I never have to switch over. The problem is, yes, that it is only going to be 13 inches wide. But, you know, most people don't care. And if you know, 13 inches is a beautiful size. And, you know, my wife says, well, gee, Ernest, why don't you just get another P800? Well, if I found another P800 for the right price, absolutely. And there you go. There you go. So this printer has now been restored back to life. I have a little missing box right here, but I will show you how we clean that up. So, and I'll show you how important it is to, maybe I can work my way out of that just by doing this right here, by throwing this print off. Let's go over here. The strong cleaning is done. Let's go to print head nozzle check. So if you're watching and you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to get your question answered in such detail that concerning the House of Epson printers, you know, it would make sense that, here we go. So this little document right here can save you so much headache. And we're just going to drop down to the P600. And I think it's this one here because I can't print wirelessly on that one. So let's go ahead and see which one's going to fire off real quick. There you go. So that's already printing. Usually when you're, you know, if you have just one little missing square like that, or a square in your print pattern, your print nozzle check pattern, you can kind of print your way out of it. What that's telling you is there may not be enough ink in the lines, but once you get those lines flooded with ink, and look, so that was a dead printer. You guys can go one video backwards and see me reviving this printer. Man, I hope I didn't just lose signal. That happens a lot. No, okay, so I've only lost signal on that. And I am just not sure why my comments are turned off, but you know, we'll figure it out. So let's do one more because I think that, as you can see, that is a perfect print. A print every 3 days keeps the head cleaning away. So if you're using an inkjet printer, you definitely want to make sure that you're printing every few days. And then once you do get that perfect print nozzle check, close your printer down and print either every 3 days or do like I run my printers every day. I'm always printing for customers every day. Every day it's done. The only one that I don't need to worry about that on is the Oki 8432. You really don't need to worry about that. I do have right over there the Sawgrass SG800. So let's see what happens now. I can probably do one more cleaning and then we're finally done. Now you saw earlier we had 2 lines here that were not complete, and I have just one right here over the photo black. So I'm thinking this print head cleaning is going to solve my problem, and then we're, you know, back to business on that printer anyway. So what I'll do with it at this point, I don't know. See if you guys like my company logo that I printed. And that's a direct-to-garment print. Cool thing about that is no matter what I do, that's in the garment for life, you know, and it's very soft. It's very close to what's called sublimation, dye sublimation. If I had to think about, you know, what I could compare this to, it would definitely be dye sublimation. You could not screen print this at all because, you know, too many colors in it. Way too many colors. What do we got? Red, blue. There's a hint of yellow in there. Black, of course, because I printed black on black. Purple's in there. Green is in there. Just a ton of colors. So, you know, definitely direct to garment is the way to go, in my opinion, as a printer. But, you know, everybody has their own agenda of how they like to print. So let's go over here and find out why I lost a red channel and how I can get this red channel back if I can. So you kind of can't see, but I have all the colors firing on here except for my magenta. So we're going to do one more cleaning over here, and then let's see what's happening over here. Let me run a print head nozzle check. And I'm going to go ahead and see if one of the problems I think I might be having is that my magenta might need to be and maybe have some air in the line. I really don't see how I have how I'm missing a nozzle here, but you know, sure enough I am. So let's take a look. See if I can't figure out my problem here. See if I have enough the ink that's coming out of that. And I'm working on about 1/4 of a cartridge. And I am primed in there. I mean, I see ink in there. So we're going to go ahead and come back over here really quick because that's about done. And I think we're going to be ready for a perfect nozzle check. And when we're ready for a perfect nozzle check, I'll go ahead and end the video. because this is part 2 to restoring an Epson P600 that a customer was so frustrated with, he kept doing cleaning after cleaning after cleaning after cleaning, and he wasted an entire bale of ink. And of course, in this problem, he really didn't have to waste any ink. He just had to take the printer apart, take the print head out, which is very complicated to do, and flush or waterfall the print head. And if he would have done that, he'd still be printing today. But as I said earlier, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So I'll gladly take that. And now this should complete. The PK is the one that we're trying to get back online. All right, let's see what happens, everybody. Hopefully this solves our problem. All right, let's see what happens here. And perfect. We went from death to life. And that's the heart of a printer right there. To restore a printer into a perfect nozzle check. So now I can print anything I want out of there, up to 13 inches by 10 feet. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is close this printer down. And we call that mission accomplished, successful. So everybody, thanks for watching. This is Brother Ernest. I'll come right over here. This is Brother Ernest with the House of Epson Printers. Sorry it's such a mess in here, but you know, the heart of a printer, man, that's what it's all about. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and end the video on this one and say goodbye to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, if you have any questions, printer related, please let me know. From sublimation printers to Epson printers, this is the House of Printers. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. The printer's working. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Drop a comment. Tell me your thoughts. If you have a printer problem, I'd love to help you out. If I can't help you out, then it's my opinion that printer's probably dead. So on that note, so long everybody. Boston 1 hour hoodie and tees. And liveeventprinting.com. Please go to the website. Right here, liveeventprinting.com. So long everybody. Well, I have to figure this out because my phone locked up, and so I may not be able to finish this video properly. So hold on just a minute. Let me see if I can't get in there and end this video. There's got to be a way I can do it here. All right, I guess to end this video, I'm just going to have to figure out why my X isn't working, and hopefully I don't lose the video. Yeah, I got to tell you.